So in terms of self-learning, and how inside of friendship, inside of love, inside of all ways we transform, it's really all about self-learning. And I have a few resources today, from everything from Kabbalah Center to Sufism to conversation with a friend to what a man told me who I dated to this idea of imago, which I found online. I was learning about imago therapy. It's like the imago, this like ideal. So anyway, I had a talk with this guy named Leo Brown, but he goes by Sprouti. Anyway, I realized I'm looking also, this is what self-learning is about. What am I looking for? It's non-sexual love. This is what I wrote about 4 or 5 years ago. No, less. 3 years ago. Over 3 years ago. 3.5 years ago. I'm looking for non-sexual love, to be loved for who I am without being the pleasure, distraction. Maybe I can get it from women, but I don't want to have I refuse to accept an adult intimacy left from a man, because I've been made two in the wound of an unhealed child. I can't have sex. If I can't get love, I'm looking for it in whatever is available, but romantic is not platonic. I have to choose one and put myself in the kid role when I think others are out to get me. I have to live with me, not with anyone else. I don't want anyone to answer my phone. And then in terms of like friendship, there was a man, his name was Binyomin, Kamen. He told me there's no true friendship between men and women. So I wanted to connect with, what does it mean, Holy Spirit? Like holy relationship, spiritual relationship, right? So to do more will do far more than a human leader can do, the Holy Spirit, when it comes to rest in a person. So for example, we say lahavdil in Hebrew, which means like separating it from the Jewish perspective, but Jesus predicted his death, 32 years old. The Holy Spirit beckons everyone to intimacy and the recognition of a need for God and the beauty and gifts that such a salvation and forgiveness for us from him, if we welcome and make space for this communion. And remember, community, communication, we commune. The Holy Spirit in us, we call it Ruach HaKodesh in Hebrew, works miracles. It casts away demons or casts toward followers. It's a comforter, a leader, a convictor, a truth bringer, life bringer, touches us on the inside. And when we think of word, which means logos, it means law, and we think enlightened word, which they have a word for it called chrima, which is the light carrier. And in the challenges of being open to new things, but it's not necessarily everything, we can't see that they're we can't see there, like, we have to earn the strength, the creativity, the rising to the occasion. In other words, the intensity, our calling, depends on our ability to let go of anything that keeps us from God and allows us to be open to discerning. And how well we hear and whether we can take care of our sickness is whether or not we're going to have the Holy Spirit resting in us. At the Kabbalah Center of New York, they say to reveal the soul of money, we have to realize it's only 99%. I'm using something very physical. It's only 99%. It's only 1%, the ego of money. It fills a lack, it fills a void, it ignites it, right? It ignites that sense of having. However, 99% of it is invisible. So love could take any form. It's in terms of the Sufis, they're like called by many like the lovers. The lover is beloved, beloved is lover. Mercy is what makes creation possible. Love is divine or a derivative. Only the love can understand the love. When we want proof, we look toward, not away, and our heart uses intellect as a ladder to reach heaven, but a lover is revealed by a lamenting heart. No sickness like love sickness. Love unexplained without a tongue is, in other words, not shared with the tongue, is clearest. Our lover picks a million radiant fruit for us when we embody love versus trying to tell the story. And the love for our maker leaps like a flame when we open our heart. Love is one and without a rival. Again, this is from Sufism and how love transforms us. When we're in the self, we have safety, we have needs met, and then we have the soul with the body, and there's this dense, tethered, the dense and the tethered, of the subtle and etheric. When we're touched by God, it's this cleared of any misperception when the dirt shoveled on us shakes off and we use it to step higher. And our blessings and curses love, pretty much only God knows the difference between our blessings and our curses. They look the same. When we patiently endure, we end up with strength and faith. And it's as a dry lip is a message from the water. So when we feel hungry for love, there's love trying to get to us. We have to have a hungriness for the love. It's talking to us through our hunger for the love. When we let the wind absorb it and bring it across the desert, it's the only way a stream can cross the sand. It really happens. The water is picked up by the wind and lands somewhere else. There's doubts on what... basically, the doubts are cementing the learning once it happens. And when we scramble to get in the boat, it can sink like a stone midstream while the shelterless and abandoned make it across the shore. Now, in terms of imago, having this shows up in someone, this version, right? So I decided to use this person, Sean, who I decided was everything. Now, of course, once again, the everything became the nothing, or it became, not what I thought. So anyway, what I was thinking at the time, this is 3.5 years ago, I never thought I could be in a state of equanimity and still have a partner. Maybe it's possible for me to be together. You can hear how loaded that is, right? So I never met anyone so dynamic, precise, brilliant, wise and charming and thoughtful and stubborn and open and bold, who I love and loves me and feels like home. Now, how is that not me? But I was needing it to be in someone else. I don't need to hide, and this is some proofs I was giving myself. I don't need to hide red flags. He feeds me. He builds me up. He's generous, patient, strong, and sturdy. He's beautiful and sexy, handsome, stable, and masculine. He's cute sometimes. He's neat and tidy. He's brave and courageous and growing and respectful and disciplined. And he's warm and affectionate, cozy and nurturing. His eyes, smile, and hands. He has a sex mastery and is creative and inspired. And I get to practice everything. Who I am is enough. He's hopeful and adaptive and independent and self-sufficient and buoyant and resilient and a good listener and understander. And who I am is enough. I feel balanced, supported, and challenged. And he has great taste, wonderfully similar standards, grateful, godly, appreciative, loving, and sweetness. Everything I learned from him that's new to me is gold. I'm taking accountability, no topic is off limits. And of course, whether it's a man learning from his masculinity or a woman learning from femininity, this is a big part of self-learning. So obviously, as we're moving through these, we went from in terms of the inner child, the friendship, the Holy Spirit, the kind of like with money, then a lover, and then the image in the lover, the ideal that's in the lover, which obviously we just find someone to put it in. I mean, this person ended up letting me down in so many ways that I mentioned, and now we go into the energy of basically what they call eros, this passion, it's almost like the sensual, sexual root. So groundation kind of in eros, learning to open rather than seduce. So this receptive energy as a vessel, the femininity. So vibrancy, embodied ecstasy. We want and deserve to feel pleasure. Validated and seen, feeling worthy, engaging with sensuality brings more passion and joy in a truly self-authentic way, dynamic, flowing, prophetic intuition, feeling nude emotionally and physically, confidently radiating loving vibration of beauty, irresistibility, without needing permission, people who want to be in my space because it makes them feel more like themselves. Attraction, healing, abundance increases. Self-guiding, feminine energy of knowing undoubtedly and more in touch with my cycle, movements, rhythm, balance, phases, and not needing to compensate with over-masculinity. Because feminine guidance, courage, connection, and nurture is turning to healing capacities, melting, sacred, fulfillment, and depth, organic, spacious, and yielding. The mother within. We heal the mother wound and develop and trust the inner voice rather than look outward and upward. More lasting intimacy is available with the teamwork and horizontal collaborative circulation, surrendering to a healthy masculine that's not wounded instead of over-criticism, instability, insecure, abusive power. With creativity unleashed, fluid, flexible, mobile, where sensitivity becomes sensorial and sensual to the toned and the real senses. And I would like to stop here and let this sink in and wish you a good night. Be well.